Hi, everybody. I wanted to share an update on how things are going here. The crowdfunding campaign is going really well. Thank you to everybody that already donated to that. I'll leave a link in this description if you'd like to be involved. Since my saxophone was taken on, I think it was July 6th or 7th, I've had a lot of friends who are really generous and loaned me instruments, so I now have 4 vintage saxophones, and I'm alternating them. I've been playing concerts on all of them, and it's been quite an interesting experience to have the chance to try these things out, because I never really had felt the need to try any other instruments out since I had such a nice instrument myself. So I'm going to start with the earliest one of these. This first one is a Conn. It was made in 1924 or maybe 1925 by the U.S. instrument company Conn. And I think they call this a transitional model. So here it is. And I should note that this instrument doesn't seal at all. It really needs some attention from an instrument repairman. And the fact that it still plays so well is really a testament to how good the acoustics are. So this next one is the Conn 10M. This was built in 1936, and it's the really important Conn Tenor historically. The keywork evolved somewhat, and it feels more comfortable to play. It's a little bit easier to be fluid. And acoustically, I think it's a little bit more perfect in the sense that it's a little bit more in tune and feels more uniform. But at the same time, there's something really magical about the way that other Conn, the transitional model, feels when I play. It feels a lot like a voice. So this is an interesting kind of hybrid between what I had, which is a Mark VI, and the older Conn. So check it out. Feels really nice to push into it pretty hard. This one has a lot of colors on tap as well. So this one is the King Zephyr. It's made in 1939. So it's one of the last ones they made before World War II. It's made by the King Company, which is an American company. And during World War II, most of the American instrument manufacturers switched over to making materials for the military. So I believe that King or Conn, I don't remember which, started making altimeters for airplanes. And they say that they kind of forgot how to make instruments, so that when they went back to making instruments after the war, the first year or two, they were kind of still figuring it out again, how to kind of switch back over. So those instruments are less desirable. But this is one of the last ones they made before the war. And it's a beautiful instrument. It has a ton of character, but it's pretty rocky in terms of intonation, and it's not that uniform. So I think this is a little bit more of a rough and kind of, it's got a lot of personality, but you really have to work to control it and contain it. Check it out. It's really nice because it's so free, you know, it's really free blowing, and it's got a ton of harmonics and color. But yeah, it's tough to play it in tune. Check it out. That should be an octave. And my Mark VI, that would be a pretty in tune octave, but on this one, it's almost a half step sharp in the high octave. yeah, it's a nice instrument. It's got a beautiful, really fat sound. It's a little bit less refined, I think, than the Conn. Okay, so this is a 1960 Selmer Mark VI, which means it's only a few months older than the instrument that I lost. It has been relacquered, so that reduces the collector's value of this particular saxophone. But they did a beautiful job on it, and it still sounds great. I don't know, a lot of people say that it drastically changes the sound, but I don't know how easy it is to actually tell that, because each instrument is so specific. So, and this is kind of the birth of the modern saxophone. Even now, contemporary saxophones are still built with this idea about key work, because it's such an ergonomically, it's so much more advanced than the instruments that came before it. And so it's easier to be fluid on it, to play things quickly, to be relaxed. And yeah, this is almost exactly like the instrument that I have been playing for 20 years. So check it out. So one thing about the Mark VI, which has always been a bit of a limit for me, is the bow notes. These notes down here, they feel a little bit more constricted. And I notice this a lot now that I have some of the older instruments that feel a lot more free in that area. These all feel a little bit kind of covered or closed to me. This instrument has a really nice kind of almost compressed feeling low register, or low frequencies in all the notes. So there's always kind of like substance there. It always feels kind of like thick to me. But it also has this kind of glow, this upper mid-range glow, which I like. And I think that's maybe the thing about Selmers, one of the things about Selmers that everybody loves so much. But it sings less. I mean, it definitely feels less like a voice to me than the old Conns. And the subtone, it might not be sealing perfectly, but it's definitely not as fat as the Conns either. So, yeah, I would say right now, I'm really attracted to both the transitional model and the 10M. I think those are the biggest surprises for me so far in this kind of journey of discovery. And I do have an appointment with a collector in Rome. Sometime in the next month I'll be going down, and he has a collection of, I guess, about 600 saxophones. So I'm going to get the chance to try a lot of stuff at that point, and I will keep you posted. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep trying these out. I'm starting to buy some things. I have worked out a deal for this mouthpiece, actually, which I'll be buying soon. And I'm looking at cases, trying to get a really nice case so that even as long as I'm still using loner horns, I'll have a really solid and safe case to carry them around in. And this is all possible thanks to your help. So thanks to everybody that's been helping. And yeah, share your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you guys hear in terms of the differences between the instruments.